I text Gerard, do you want to come over? Watch me stuff swim trunks into a weekender bag and maybe a movie? Ugh, regret is the gift that keeps on giving. I think it was Sontag or Sonic the Hedgehog who said, just dash, dodge, weave faster than you can think, and there's no time to shame spiral. Crushing on Muse, whose even slight squint burst me into high July while dialing, essentially, a trick. This is my argument. Muse crashes into the edges of my nights, isn't crushing, doesn't love me, doesn't have his shit together, though neither frankly do I, but yanks me and my hand onto the dance floor until tilt-a-whirl and goes on like land, just accumulating in my eyes. Gerard is a grown-ass man. Sly winks, snakes free drinks from the bar because he can pay for the expensive ones, all calm and body and blue. And all Muse and I do is wander from party to party, pop off with Popov or Georgie or Poland Spring, whatever is deeper than well and gives you a hangover just riding the subway home. Lavender candle, string lights. Sage sticks gathered by my brother from the res to smudge my new apartment. Staging, I've learned, can be just as important as what you whisper into Gerard's ear when you set the Espolone down on the end table beside him and blow a little and back away slow. Locked eyes. My roommate Jess is a singer/social worker going on tour next week. Danny's in Baltimore, Deegs visiting parents, so I'll have our 4-bedroom apartment all to myself when I get back from the Hamptons. Today, a roach died under my keyboard. When I sat down to play, I saw a leaf and bent to pick it up. I touched the stem, but it was antenna, and I screamed bloody murder, and Jess ran in with a napkin, scooped it up to heaven. She's in the other room humming, "We found love in a hopeless place." Struts in every 10 minutes, asks my opinion of the design of the t-shirt she's making for her tour. Higher, lower, bigger, smaller, left, right, etc. Then does the exact opposite of what I suggest. And I'm like, why even ask? She blinks, stands there for a second drag from her cig and walks back to her room. 10 minutes later, she busts back in and asks, do I like where she wrote the band's name? I blink, stand there a second, look down to the swimming trunks half-crammed weekender bag. She laughs and says, touche. Gerard is not coming over. Which almost makes me mad, but he says sorry, says he wishes he hadn't made plans, wishes he could be with me, and the phrase be with is a deference to a kind of growing infection. I mean, affection inside of him that's not growing inside of me, so I don't respond. If he said, I'll fuck you Tuesday, I would have smiley face, smiley face, smiley face. If Muse ever texted me, I would smiley face, smiley face, smiley face. If Muse texted, I want to be with you, I would have a minor coronary incident, would have to dictate this from Woodhull Medical Center, as I surely would have passed headfirst into the evening's net of basket of hammer of stars. There's my body, and then there's your body. Basically the plot of every Beyoncé song. Don't write heavenly body, don't write heavenly body, don't write heavenly. Let's call Muse a heavenly body in the sense that I can't even think about it. Embodiment of abstract concept. Comedy. History. Bag of salt and vinegar chips, stellar dimples, his palm on the support beam behind you, beside your hip, and leans in the flood of his breath, the stuff of myths. Gerard has scooped shoulders in a way that's easy to clock. In an effort to protect the heart, shoulders pull forward. I sit scooped shoulders at the computer. Jess walks in again or doesn't. I can't tell because I'm horrified at the internet. Like alcoholism, oppressive and consuming occupier God. Plus, friends posting about suicide. Not like famous suicides or like Wilkes, who says, when the world goes to shit, she and her cat, Chairman Meow, are going headfirst into the oven, which is romantic. No, like actually committing suicide. Like Darren in 7th grade with motor oil, or my Uncle Stoney with a shotgun, or Gio and Beam and Guadalupe, 3 siblings, each shook from life in different car wrecks, each, what's it called? Risk-seeking behavior? Each of them a kind of suicide that we don't talk about as suicide because we're Indian. And who's listening? People driving drunk or huffing paint and glue for the vapors because gripping knotted darkness. No way to lift out of police sirens, knives and night fights, history class. One paragraph on your time with the land. Shrinking dendrites of chronic stress. The impulses slow. Tin foil in windows. When cultural inheritance is generational trauma, hunted by governments, by Spain, by Mexico, by the United States, by pathogens, by black mold in shitty mobile homes, being sprayed on like roaches by Catholicism, by crack pipes, by tweakers, by Chupa Chup with this shotgun. Mom answers the door and he's hollering, "Punkin?" My dad said he was gonna pay my fucking license plate. But my dad, fathoming the idea of and being tribal chairman, is away on business or a binge, and my mom, after her shift at thrift store at RV park, permed curls, takes a drag of her cig. Slow, locked eyes. Takes the license plate from Chupa, sets it on the linoleum, paints the California orange or whatever, never leaving cig, hands it back to him and says, "Leave." In a way that I've never been able to argue with. Lucky pulls out a rifle, points it at me and my dad. I duck behind the dash faster than my brain could tell me because I was taught to do this. I have a machete under the bed. Mom screams at the cop, "Let her go, you red-headed fucker." Someone throws a bottle or a rock. Tony falls back, the blunt force of his trunk on the floor, the knife. We pull up to the scene and Bunty, still screaming, doesn't know that's his trail of grated skin on the asphalt, being sprayed on like roaches by capitalism, by metabolic disease, by team sports names, mascots, by general invisibility of being a function of the past, being a feature of the land, by forced Indian boarding schools with 20% mortality rates, by the English fucking language with its high beams in my face, and I'm totally caught off guard when Muse texts me, "Oh, don't respond, don't respond, don't respond, don't respond, respond, don't respond," and then text 5 things in a row and fucking kill myself. I mean, my phone, delete Facebook, because, okay, just because in general, just because you hate yourself, doesn't mean you're allowed to be an asshole. Stop fucking posting about Klonopin, or cutting yourself, or throwing up. Save it for a shitty poem, like a normal wretch. Boundaries aren't cages. A meter is a fine flute, but maybe nobody wants to hear you. Maybe you are just an asshole. I mean, you never really treat me that well. We just get comfortable with each other at a time when comfort, something come stop the shaking, is more important than privacy, so I turn my phone back on to text Michael. He's at work. I say, "Come after." He says, "Going out in Chinatown." And who fucking goes out in Chinatown after midnight on a Thursday? All I know are boys, 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 and I hate all of them. Stop fucking posting about how you want soup, or what's in your bathwater, or what color are your toenails. Just watch a porn and take a nap like an adult. Sit and scroll and fume and sit and scroll and fume and sit and scroll and fume and sit and scroll and fume, and that's how you catch the vapors. Music, museum, the tune of memory. The drinking fountains in Paris, the disappearing fog, Muse, a punk, alcoholic San Francisco early morning Polaroid of deep breathing in a tight sweater, burnt sienna, inviting oil slick rainbow, a copper jumpsuit draped on a lampshade, lipstick print on a bay window when the window is broken and nobody's home. Maroon road rage, the way you can't see stars in the city, but we have street lamps. Smudged yellow leather elbow patch on a smoking jacket, the brink of eyelashes, the clink of rousing from a nap, coming to or coming in or on 8 p.m. and I'm collecting Muse. Chasing, I'm watching him slip from one boy to the next. He's a British composer. He makes books in Baltimore. He's flying me to Lisbon. He's an actor, musician, packs me into a pop song. He's fucking my friend. I can't be in the same room with him. We're getting coffee. It's good to see you. I agree. He's coming to my B-Day party. I literally love his new BF. I'm sending him a DM. I just added him. Thanks for the ad. He saw my message, but he's not writing back. These are all the same essential mans. All of these Adams, all of these Bens and Bens and Rolls Royces and OJs and Lemonades and Jameses and Bacardi, stomach acid reflux, it keeps repeating on me, and I know I'm not supposed to use their real names. Where I'm from, in the valley I lived in for thousands of years, once someone has passed or pushed or pressed into the next life that I don't believe in, their name's forbidden. Reference them, but don't use the name because it distracts them from heaven. It sullies the peace they rest in. I don't want to be a sullier. I'm terrible in trouble. I flush at the prospect of being wrong, but I need a spell. A cave in the vapors, a trail. It can't always just be me stumbling alone head first into these bright things. Lead me back to the water of belief. Mina, Guadalupe, Gio and Beam, Stony, Ricky, Beto, Desi, Woody, George, Lula, Rhea, Robin, Bunty, BB, Tina, Lucky. Why am I the one left? Why do I have to know so many dead? People say Jesus all the time, and Jesus, somehow invoking Jesus, proffers a solace, sharp certainty, a get off the couch kind of guilt. Senators and shit, pundits and politicians and shit, a fiction to stop the shaking. Once I have this convo with Jesus where I confess I can't take all this living, and he says the same thing. We know we're doing it slow, steady, instead of all at once like people with guts. Wine mouth and not smoking so much as sucking the cigs. We pop it to Beyoncé in his living room in San Diego, write raps and record him in his laundry room, garage band. We real queen. He reads me Kevin Killian and I read him Eileen Miles and drink all day and talk about books until we pass out. Our stars, our heads propped up in the morning and pick up where we left off. I meet him and know this is the most special human being on the face of the planet. Like, he real antidote. We fuck with boys on Grindr, but don't fuck each other because what we have is too pure for our bodies. And I understand, I totally, literally understand how having someone like Jesus can make sex seem profane, maybe? Or unnecessary, unmotivated. Jesus takes steps to cleave himself from the world, son of America, but I running start for the head first of stars. The vial is dry, overturned by the bedside. Did I drink all the antidote? Is there only enough for one of us? There's a throbbing light, a cursor, throbbing absence of light. Disappears, comes back, disappears, comes back, disblink appears, but leaves for longer and longer, and someday, I'm scared it won't never come back. I know faith in absence. I'm scared, and their names proffer a solace. Mina and them, Turtle and Rosie and Polly and Quickbird and Tanny and Polly Jr. proffer a kind of power. America reclines, undying. I want America to know who is still dying for its sins. I want America taken alive with all my names. I have cocks in my eyes and songs in my stars, and so yeah, I fucking hate you for wanting to die. And I hate myself for thinking it might be for the best. There's a barb of feathers caught in the February of my throat. It's summer, I think. The bird calls in my belly vibrate to smoke and snuff. I want to be normal enough to fuck. Muse stops texting, the B-43 hits a pothole, keeps rum, and it's summer, I think. And I hate nature, because every poem is like poplars and bunch grasses and peonies and shit. But the East River is ambling outside my window like holding hands with Stevie Nicks. So beautiful, right? But also deafening and kind of scary. And I feel small online and in real life because there's my body and then there's your body. And I don't think anybody's coming over tonight.